Hi everybody, welcome back to Abraham's Table Farm. This is the first video of the 2023 season and we are really excited to have you with us. This season is going to be really big for us and we've got a lot of things going on, several new things going on this year, and it's going to be a really busy, really fun season. It's very fun to start the videos again and show you guys just exactly how we grow your food, and so we hope you are excited as well. From here on out, there will be regular updates on all of our projects, all of our plantings, all of the animals, just showing you how we do things and all of the drama that goes into producing your food. And we hope you enjoy that. We hope it makes your eating experience that much more exciting, that you have seen and participated at some level in everything that happens in order to make that delicious food appear on your table. And yeah, we're excited to do this work and we're really excited to show you the story as well. So without much further introduction, I'm just going to jump into the season. We've already been working on a lot of things. We've stayed busy throughout the winter. The work never really quite stops here on the farm, but this is when everything really starts going. So now it felt like the right time to start the videos back up. For one, today is the first day that we're heating up the greenhouse. That's a big first for us. There's a lot of firsts on the farm, but this is a really big, important first one. We delay the firing of the greenhouse as long as possible because it's very expensive to heat the greenhouse through the winter, obviously, in this cold climate. It's just a plastic balloon, not really any insulation. So we push that off as long as possible, and we do that by starting many of our seeds in the basement. This is common for home growers. We have a little setup in our basement with a bunch of grow lights and some shelves and some heat mats, and we start all of the earliest seeds there, and we basically keep that up as long as we can. Once the basement is totally full and overrun with plants, it's time to heat this space up no matter what the weather is. Unfortunately, it's still pretty cold this year, so we are going to literally pay the cost for that, but it was time. The basement was full, and we had a lot of seeds starting to do this week, so we fired up the greenhouse. You can see there's onions back there. These are peas in paper pots. We'll be transplanting our peas this year just because we know that the snow is not going to go away as early as we want it to. And so this gives us a little bit of a head start on that. And this isn't the full length of the greenhouse. You can see we put up this partition here so that we're only heating the space we really need. Hopefully that will save on the heating bill. And yes, if you're paying attention behind me on this wall, you can see that that is the snow level outside. We still have a tremendous amount of snow on the ground. It's very discouraging, so don't make me talk about it too much, but this is actually a little higher than it is on the ground because all the snow slides off the roof and piles up on the sides, but still, that's a lot of snow. But we're really excited to have this greenhouse warming up and heating up, and we're starting seeds, and we'll be starting seeds every week from now on. You know that the seed starting period of the season, it's really intense in the early spring. We're starting a ton of things for the garden to get it going, but it also continues all the way till August. We continue to start seeds for the later parts of the season. We're always working several months ahead of what you're experiencing with the harvest, but this is the beginning of the seed starting period of the year, and it's an exciting time. Seeds starting is very exciting. Take these tiny little lifeless, seemingly lifeless balls, stick them into the mysterious dark earth, and life appears. It's always unfathomable for me to think of this box that has all of our seeds in it. It's about this big, all of our seeds packed in there, and that box transforming through this farming process into truckloads and trailer loads of food that is delivered week after week after week after week, all through the year, feeding all kinds of people, all from a box this big. It's really exciting to just be there at the beginning point in that, and we're glad to finally be there because it is cold. So, greenhouse getting started, very exciting. Snow outside, very discouraging, but there's another important thing happening. So let's go see. I'm here in one of our high tunnels now, and these two beds are being prepped for the very earliest plantings by our workers Sam and Daniel. This is really exciting. This is definitely the earliest we've ever prepped beds. There's still a ton of snow outside, but we've jumped in here where it does warm up during the day. We've pulled back these tarps, which were down, killing down any kind of weedy growth during the winter time. We've spread the fertilizers on the beds, and the ground is not frozen, so we can go ahead and plant these beds pretty soon here. The soil is crumbly and ready to go, and Daniel will be ground sowing in them in the next couple hours. So that's what's happening inside this tunnel, but let's take a look outside. Outside of the tunnels, it's a completely different story. As you can see, we are still in a winter wonderland. Behind me is what is typically the garden and what you have seen as the garden in previous videos. There's the wash stand down at that end. This whole field will be full of vegetables at some point, but right now we're under a pretty significant blanket of snow, and there's more coming now. So we've got a long ways to go before we get outside planting, but we are very happy that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 greenhouses that we can all start planting in just like that. Pulling the tarps back, the soil is completely thawed underneath, fertilizing and planting little things like salad mix, arugula, spinach, all those small greens that you get in your first shares. Seeds are growing in the ground now. And we're actually hoping with these super early plantings that these plants will be ready for some of our current winter CSA members. So if you're a part of our winter CSA, you've been getting some of those storage crops throughout the winter and eggs and meat, hopefully you'll get some of the earliest greens before the summer CSA even starts. So that's what we're working on this year, is extending our season in the spring time, in the early season, and then again in the fall, and doing better at storage crops. We tried our storage crops this year, and it was a steep learning curve. There's a lot we gotta improve upon next year, but extending the season is obviously really crucial in this climate because, as you can see, mid-March can still be dead winter. I'm here in the chicken tunnel now. As you can see, I'm here now in the chicken tunnel where it is relatively warm and very dry and comfortable for the chickens. I'm now in the chicken tunnel. As you can see, this is where our egg layers live all winter. It's completely wind-free, it's sunny, it's dry, and it's relatively warm, especially on a sunny day. And this is where they spend their winter, laying eggs in the nest boxes, roost bars for them at night. And this is where they've been all winter. And oftentimes we shoot for April 1st to head out onto the pasture, but I'm not sure we're gonna make it this year because of the intense snow that you just saw. So we'll see, but as soon as that snow does get out of here, these birds are gonna be heading out to pasture where they will remain for the rest of the season. The birds have done pretty good this winter. If you watched our videos last year, you know that these were started as chicks here on the farm last summer and were raised up to maturity with the hopes that they would lay eggs through the winter really strong. It didn't quite end up that way. We've learned that getting strong egg production through the winter is a little bit more complicated than we had originally anticipated. And so this winter has been a really important learning period for us. We have connected with some other more advanced egg-laying farmers and learned a bunch about the nuances of lighting and nutrition and all the things that go into keeping a steady egg-laying production through the winter in the cold weather. And now the egg production is ramping up significantly. In fact, we now have more than enough eggs. And if you want extras, if you're a CSA member, just let us know. We will gladly give you extra free eggs. And if you're not a CSA member, come by. We need customers. The egg production takes off at this time of year due to the increase in the sunlight and the warmth and all of that. And our main CSA hasn't started yet. So there is this significant gap where production is escalating and sales are not. So if you want eggs, really good eggs, please come to us. They're soy-free, they're organic. The grain that they're fed comes from a local neighboring farm. They're really good eggs, and we need people to support us in this particular window of the season. As spring comes and we are just waiting and waiting and waiting to get the birds out on pasture. But here they are, as you can see, they're really happy and healthy, and they're doing well in this protected environment. You can see all the snow up on top. It'll slowly slide off, and then as soon as the sun comes out, this place warms up to incredibly comfortable temperatures all through the day. So yeah, birds are doing great. Still several more weeks until our first chicks of the season arrive, and thank goodness, because it is really way too cold for us to be having chicks right now. But they will be coming in a matter of weeks, sometime in April, and then we will really be off to the races with chickens this year. Sometimes the chickens lay their eggs on the ground instead of the nest box, and as you can see, this girl is trying to keep those eggs warm. If you've spent any time on the farm, you also know that we have a number of pets, including dogs and cats and bunnies and milk cows. And this is good old Bunster, living his good life in the brooder. He spends his winter in this brooder until there's fresh grass for him to move outside onto. Right across the way from the chickens, so they're good friends by the end of the winter. So that's where we stand right now on the farm. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. It's mid-March, but as you can see, we are still completely buried in a winter wonderland. And the 10-day forecast doesn't have a lot of sunshine and warm weather in it. So that's farming in Minnesota. It's a bit of a roller coaster this time of year. You never quite know when it's gonna go, but we do know that the later it lasts and the longer it takes, the faster it goes. So we can expect in the next couple weeks for some really fast thawing to happen when those warm days do come. The sun is much higher in the sky and is very strong, and so when those warm days without any clouds come, it's going to beat down on the snow and it's all going to go really fast, which could be a total mess. It could mean tremendous amounts of, minor flooding and huge puddles and tons of mud. But in digging around on the farm under the snow, we have found that the ground is completely thawed. It's totally soft underneath the snow, and so it may just soak in really fast. There have been years where the ground is really frozen and the water can't infiltrate, and that also causes a mess. So we'll see how it actually plays out this season, but as you can see, it hasn't happened yet. Hopefully in the next video things will look totally different. At least in 2 weeks it will look very different. But as for now, we are just hunkered down. We're staying really busy. We've got lots of projects this year and a lot of new things going on, like I said. And we are just finding little things to do on those to-do lists and knocking them out. Anything we can do in the office, in the greenhouses, in the garage, in the shop, anything that we can do there, we're getting a little bit ahead on while we bide our time and wait for the spring thaw to come. This is also the time of year when we need you to sign up for our CSA. It's really important for our cash flow to get these early signups, and it's really important for us to be able to farm and focus on this work and pivot and respond to all the environmental changes that are taking place around us with the late spring and everything. So the earlier you can sign up, the better. It takes one headache off of our list and relieves one source of stress from our life. So if you're hoping to get really nutritious, really fresh, really local food that is grown right from a source you can trust, where you also get to see the story unfolding, then go ahead to our website, abrahamstablefarm.com, and sign up for our CSA. We are doing vegetables, we're doing chicken, we're doing eggs, we're doing beef. We're doing it all this year again. And like I said, some new things. I'm not going to tell you too much about that this week, but in the next couple weeks, you will see what we have in store for this season. It's going to be a really fun season. We've already got several of our workers back, and we are pushing and pushing to get things ready for this upcoming very busy season. So stay tuned for that. Next week, I will tell you a little bit more about that. But for now, go sign up for the CSA. Thank you for watching, and let's all pray for sunshine, please. Thanks. Bye.